Nigerian Education Loan Fund postpones student loan application for state-owned institutions. Federal University of Technology MENA chapter of the Academic Staff Union of Universities protests poor welfare. 7 killed, 11 injured in Lagos-Ibadan expressway accident. And on the foreign scene, at least 24 killed by flooding landslide in Ivory Coast. Hello, welcome to News Update Draws TV. I am Lilian Ogazi. And now to the news. The management of Nigerian Education Loan Fund on Tuesday announced a 14-day postponement of the application process for student loan for state institutions due to low data submissions. A statement by the agency in Abuja on Monday said the decision was necessitated by the failure of several state-owned institutions to upload the required student data and fee information to the NEL Fund student verification system. The fund said the extension will provide additional time for state institutions to comply with data submission requirements and ensure their students can benefit from the federal government student loan scheme. It said, to facilitate an efficient and error-free application process, it is crucial that all state institutions provide complete and accurate information. Meanwhile, the chairperson of the Federal University of Technology (FUT-MENA) chapter of the Academic Staff Union of Universities (ASU), Professor Bola Bolarin, has asked President Bola Tinubu to evaluate and sign the renegotiated agreement between ASU and the federal government to restore efficiency in the Nigerian university system. He stated this in MENA shortly after a peaceful protest by the union to express their grievance over unpaid salaries and allowances. This time, the university students joined the protest holding placards with various inscriptions while chanting solidarity songs. President of the student union government, Ezenwa Buike, who led students in solidarity with the academic staff, said they bear the brunt anytime lecturers embark on strike. The union members said they were resolute in their demands. The Nigerian Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, has debunked claims that the Senate will purchase presidential jets for President Tinubu despite the economic hardships the country is experiencing. He stated this during a condolence visit to Borno to commiserate with Senator Mongono over the demise of his father. Akpabio described the assertion as fake news spread by propagandists, stressing that the Senate is more concerned with Nigerian needs and is ensuring to address the economic challenges facing the country. He called on Nigerians to pray for the country and leaders, expressing optimism that insecurity in the northeast will soon become history.
To dispense the rumor that you are hearing that the Senate President said that he will buy a brand new plane for the President and the Vice, irrespective of the fact that Nigerians are hungry or whatever. I never said that. I was actually in Tanzania, in Zanzibar. So this is the handiwork of propagandists and people who never see, and feed columnists who never see anything good in what we are doing. Just be rest assured. Pray for the government, have patience, and be assured that the combination of Tinubu and Shetima will bring wealth and prosperity to all.
Still on matters concerning the Senate, ad hoc committee investigating the 30 trillion naira Ways and Means facility expended between 2015 and 2023 under the previous administration has stated that investigation is still on course. Chairman of the committee, Senator Issa Jibrin, representing Kogi East on Monday, debunked an online report which alleged that the investigation, which began in March 2024, is in limbo. He explained that although the committee was given 6 weeks when inaugurated in March to carry out the exercise and report to the Senate, it had become imperative to exceed the time frame given the sensitivity of the assignment. The committee chairman disclosed that required findings have been carried out, evident in a letter of reminder recently written to the office of the Accountant General of the Federation. A Kano State High Court sitting in Adubako has fixed July 11, 2024 to begin hearing on the fundamental rights suit of the leader of the New Nigerian People's Party, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, and 7 others. The applicants in the suit are the New Nigeria's People Party, Ajuji Ahmed, Dipo Olayunku, Ahmed Balewa, Clement Anele, Folashade Aliyu, Buba Galadima, and Rabi Musa Kwankwaso. The respondent in the suit is the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. When the case came up before Justice Yusuf Ubale Mohammed on Monday, counsel to the applicant, Robert Hahn, told the court that they had served the respondent with the court processes on June 10th, adding that by the fundamental rights rules, they are to file their processes within 7 days. Hahn noted that while the respondents have not filed their processes, they are not in court and have not sent any respondents. On his part, the judge said the respondents should be given ample time to respond. He, therefore, adjourned the matter to 11th July 2024 for hearing of the substantive suit on notice. The court has issued an order restraining the EFCC from infringing, intimidating, arresting or harassing the applicant until the determination of the motion on notice.
They didn't send any correspondence. The judge, his own wisdom, said in the interest of justice they should be given ample time, even though they are against the rules of the court, fundamental rules. They have given them additional days. The matter has been adjourned to the 11th of July 2024 for the hearing of a substantive application. Before then, the court has issued them an interim restraining orders. Interim restraining orders against Economic and Financial Crimes Commission from attempting to infringe on the fundamental rights of our clients, the applicants.
Meanwhile, the Federal High Court in Lagos State has granted an application by the Attorney General of the Federation to extradite one Samuel Abiodun to the United States of America to face trial for alleged wire fraud and conspiracy to commit money laundering. Justice Akintayo Aluko gave the order on June 14, 2024, following the AGF's application filed by Kende Fagbemi of the Federal Ministry of Justice. Specifically, the federal government prayed for the surrender and extradition of Abiodun to face 2 counts of wire fraud in violation of Title 18 United States Code, Section 1343, carrying a maximum term of imprisonment of 20 years, and conspiracy to commit money laundering in violation of Title 18 United States Code, Section 1956H, carrying a maximum term of imprisonment of 20 years. Although his counsel, Ademola Adekoya, denied the allegations and challenged, among others, the court's power to order his extradition. The Akwa Ibom State Police Command said it has rescued a retired Shell Petroleum Company worker who was kidnapped last week by 4 unknown armed men dressed in military camouflage. The police public relations officer ASP Tim Fon John, who disclosed this in a statement made available to newsmen, stated that the 63-year-old kidnapped victim was rescued unhurt in Ikwadudobong village in Etimikbo local government area following intelligence. She also disclosed that one of the suspected kidnappers sustained injury from a gunshot when the gang engaged the police in the gun duel, who was later confirmed dead when rushed to the hospital. 7 people have lost their lives, while another 11 suffering varying degrees of injuries in a crash which occurred on Monday night at about 9:33 p.m. around Ogere area of Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. The accident involved a Mazda bus and a truck with no number plates. The Mazda bus, due to excessive speed, reportedly lost control and rammed into the truck from behind. The spokesperson of Ogun State Sectoral Command of Federal Road Safety Corps, Florence Okpe, disclosed this in a statement made available to journalists on Tuesday. Okpe said that while the injured were taken to Petmark Hospital, Ogere, for medical attention, the corpses of the dead were deposited at FOS Morgue, Ipara. Following the recent cholera outbreak in several states, the Oyo State government has announced that it has identified 7 suspected cases in the state. The Commissioner for Health, Oluwaseremi Ajetumobi, disclosed this while addressing newsmen in Ibadan, the state capital. The report.
Nigeria is currently experiencing a cholera outbreak, with the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention reporting over 1,528 suspected cases in 31 states. The main cause of the outbreak has been linked to contaminated water and poor sanitation, made worse by the rainy season, which can spread the disease through flooding and unsafe water sources. The Oyo State government on Monday said it has identified some suspected cases, which it has placed under observation. The ministry also added that it has implemented measures to contain the outbreak and prevent further spread.
We have been preaching also to people that the source of their drinking water should be safe, because you know that by the time all these refuse, all these feces flow into the stream, and if that stream happens to be the source of water and they collect the water and the water is not safe, is not boiled, then becomes a problem. So the teaching now is that everybody should make sure that the water they are drinking is safe and clean. If you are sure that the water is not safe and is not clean, boil it. And you can't boil it, you can get chlorine tablets and use it to disinfect the water in such a way that when you yourself will know that you are drinking clean water. And so if you have to buy pure water or you have to buy bottled water, you can shake it to be sure that they don't contain particles, because some of them do this through the production. Some of them we call them pure water, but they are not pure. So what we can do is just to shake the pure water and be sure that they don't contain particles. If they contain particles, it's not good for drinking.
Regarding the ongoing strike by health workers in Oyo State, the commissioner assured that Governor Sheyi is actively working to address the workers' demands and resolve the issue.
They cannot do for a part and neglect the other. Everything has to be taken together, so that, because if you do for a part and neglect the other, it's a vicious cycle. Other two will come and they say they are going on strike that day. So he's trying his possible effort to make sure that everybody is happy. Even though they may not see it, we have seen it, and the effort put in place to helping the people. But because you know that associations, they may want their own to be, their voice to be heard too. And maybe that's the whole essence of this strike. But just to tell them that effort is on the way to make sure that everybody is happy. All the unions will be sorted out accordingly.
The Oyo State government moved to contain cholera outbreak and end health worker strike in the state is seen as a major step taken to restore normalcy to the health sector in the state.
This is news update coming to you from Trust TV. Coming up, Igbo youth rejects additional Southeast state. More news when we return. To stay. You are welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is news update coming to you from Trust TV. Let's take a look at our headline stories again. Nigerian Education Loan Fund postpones student loan application for state-owned institutions. Federal University of Technology Mina chapter of Academic Staff Union of Universities protests poor welfare. Now moving on. The call by the Governor Bala Mohammed of Bauchi State for the decentralization of National Hajj Commission in order to break the monopoly in the handling the activities of annual Muslim pilgrimage has continued to generate reaction from Nigerians in Bauchi, the state's capital. He made the call while addressing Bauchi pilgrims in Mina during one of the exercises in Saudi Arabia. Trust TV's Adamu Imam files in the report.
The latest reaction is coming from the Forum of Chief Executive Officers of State Pilgrims Welfare Board, agencies and commissions who are vehemently rejecting the idea of decentralizing the commission on the grounds that it will allow the state governments to take over some of the commission's responsibilities. Their positions has been eliciting diverse reaction from some Bauchi residents.
Probably look at the situation that our pilgrims are facing presently is somehow. So my own take is that if the federal government may wish to decide to decentralize the issue to state government, it will reduce the burden and some hardship that the pilgrims are facing.
If they say they want to decentralize it, what do they mean? Are they going to fix their own hajj separately from what the Saudi government has set generally for the whole world, what is payable for that year? They can't, because the Saudi government will only ask the federal government, not state governments. People that are used to go to Hajj, they are from the villages, and that villagers, they are more close to the state government than the federal. So if they have any problem, I think they can easily tackle their problems with the state than going to Abuja.
I'm calling on the state governors, so to say, let them put hands together with the federal government. Make sure that areas where there are challenges, areas where there are problems, what are those problems? Come together, put hands together, and make sure that you address those problems. Federal government cannot do without states, and state can never do without the federal government.
Governor Bala promised that collective action will be taken by state governments to break NACON's monopoly to ensure effective management of Hajj exercise if the Commission fails to address issues that arose during this year's pilgrimage. In his response, NACON's boss, Jalal Arabi, apologized for the minor setbacks experienced during this year's exercise, assuring that necessary amendments will be made to prevent future occurrence. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
Following the proposed bill by members of the Southeast Zone in the National Assembly, calling for the creation of an additional state in the region to address alleged marginalization that has led to violent agitations. Youth in the state are saying they will support the creation of Anioma State as against Olu. Trust TV Ajibade Praise tells us more.
According to a cross-section of the youths who spoke to Trust TV News, the call for an additional state in the Southeast geopolitical zone is ideal and should be done with all sincerity of purpose. They, however, insisted that Anioma State is better considered for the implementation of the proposal rather than Olu State.
Anioma State, we have to extract the other our Igbo brothers from other regions in terms of people from Edo, people from Delta State, another part of River State. It will be more equity to get those regions. That will give us more strength.
The creation of Anioma State represents peace, it represents unity, it represents equity. You see, when the geopolitical zones were created, there are things they considered, and those things is people that have the same political history and people that have the same culture. That is what was considered on issue of geopolitical creation. So, putting Anioma and creating Anioma State in Southeast is in line with the principles of the geopolitical creation in Nigeria.
The Southeast is already shortened by landmarks, and the creation of all those states will only end up returning the same landmarks and dividing the states we have existing. But Anioma State is increasing our landmarks capacity by getting extract of part of states from the south.
The senator representing Olu Zone, Osita Izunaso, and a federal lawmaker representing Idiato Federal Constituency within Olu Zone, Ikenga Ugochinyere, have presented the bill for deliberation in their respective chambers. The national president of Ohanese Youth Council, Igwayaka O Igwayaka, who is of a different view, narrated reasons why the proposed Olu State may not scale through.
And it is the most strategic to address the agitation in Southeast and promote equity and unity in Nigeria. At this juncture, we call on the proponents of Olu State and Etiti State to stop and quit from such bill that lack merit in its entirety.
The proposed additional state, if achieved, will raise the number of states in the Southeast to 6, a situation many believe will go a long way to diffuse the claims of marginalization that have over the years caused agitation in the zone. Ajibade Praise, Trust TV News, Owerri.
The World Bank has said it has disbursed a total of $45.5 million to the National Identity Management Commission under the Digital Identification for Development Project. According to the Nigerian Digital Identification for Development Project report published by the bank on its website, the project is aimed at enrolling more Nigerians for the National Identification Number, NIN. According to the Apex Bank, Nigeria was able to secure the funding with the passing into law of the Foreign Protection Act in June last year. The fund was disbursed in multiple tranches between December 2021 and April 2024, and disbursement is still ongoing. The $45 million so far released represents about 10.5% of the total project cost, which is put at $430 million. And now to the foreign scene. Flooding landslides in Ivory Coast's largest city of Abidjan have left at least 24 people dead, following a week of heavy rains, 4 times the usual volume in some cases. Authorities said Tuesday that flood-related deaths are not uncommon in the West African nation during the rainy season. Now, according to Ivorian Meteorological Agency, the recent rainfall was particularly violent with more than 200 millimeters in some districts, 4 times the usual amount in a day. Informal settlements are particularly vulnerable because of poor storm drainage among homes often built too quickly without zoning regulations. Kenyan police officers have departed for Haiti on Monday to lead a multinational force aimed at combating powerful gangs responsible for a surge in deadly violence this year. The deployment, which marks Kenya's significant contribution to global peace and security, has not been without controversy. President William Ruto addressed the officers emphasizing the importance of their mission. Despite a court ruling deeming the deployment unconstitutional, President Ruto's administration is moving forward with the mission. Critics have raised concern about the history of alleged abuses by Kenyan police officials. The initial report of 400 officers is part of the 1,000 that Kenya plans to send to Haiti for the United Nations-led force. Haitians in the country have mixed reactions to the news that hundreds of Kenyan police officers are finally heading to the troubled nation on Monday. In the streets of the capital, Port-au-Prince, some welcomed their arrival, while others viewed the force with caution. The Kenyan police will lead a multinational force against the powerful gangs whose deadly violence spiked this year. The Haitian National Police is under-equipped and ill-equipped.
You are undertaking a vital mission that transcends borders and cultures. Your presence in Haiti will bring hope and relief to communities torn apart by violence and ravaged by disorder. Your performance in this assignment must be a firm statement of Kenya's capability and contribution to global peace and security, and a clear response to doubters and naysayers about your competence, integrity, and professionalism, as well as our nation's credentials.
And now to the world of sports. Few days after handing over her transfer request, French Women's Football League giants Paris Saint-Germain has set eyes on securing the services of Nigeria's Super Falcon midfielder Jennifer Echegini. The skillful attacker had a decent outing with Italian side Juventus this season, and she was voted the best under-23 player according to the update from Italy. The French league giant identified the Nigerian international as one of their main targets this season. They've kick-started preparations to open discussions with her representatives and with the management of Juventus. Echegini is expected to be among players who will be in the Super Falcons squad for the Paris 2024 Olympics. The quartet of Justina Eyakwobian, Tima Gosbless, Olayinka Olajide and Tobi Amusan brought home gold for the country at the African Championships, clocking a time of 42.76 seconds. The quartet put in the work to secure a valuable gold medal on day 4 in the women's 4 meters final to beat Team Liberia and Ghana to the title. Also, Nigerian women's 4 to 100 meters team have never lost this event at the African Cup Championships since 2018. Well, with that, we've come to the end of news updates here on Trust TV. Do well to follow us across all our social media platforms for more news programs and documentaries. Thanks for watching. I am Lilian Ogazi.